It's been 8 years since Paarl Gymnasium lost to Southern Suburb opposition on the Jan Kriel field. In 2011, that day, it was Rondebosch who came out as champions with a 34 points to 19 victory. Welcome to the Jan Kriel field. It is the definition of a glorious winter's day. It is the commencement of the business end of the school league. Paarl Gymnasium are second in the country. Rondebosch are 18th. And for Paarl Gymnasium, it's all about building momentum and disclosing no signs of weaknesses. For Paarl Boys High School, that clash happening in 3 weeks' time. With me in the commentary box today is former Cheetahs centre Andries Strauss. Andries, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Justin, and great to be back here with Schools Sports Live. And you've mentioned that rightly so, a glorious day out in Paarl, and just perfect conditions to play running rugby. And that's something that the Paarl Gym team loves to do. They've been coached well by ex-Springbok Peter Rousseau, and they like to move the ball around the field, get it into the areas and the spaces on the edges, and by doing that, creating opportunities for themselves. Perfect conditions for that in a perfect winter's day.
Paarl Gymnasium, well, 16 players this year from this crop of players represented Western Province at the Youth League up in Bloemfontein. Today, 11 make up the starting 15. The front row in Gerard van Niekerk, Leon Kompion and Jovan Becker have been absolute champions. Reinhard Kraus, the number 4, always works hard. Johan van Rijn comes in for the captain today in Marco van Rijn. The deputy has to step up to the head boy's absence with a concussion at Craven Week. Eric Basson is the open side flanker. He comes in for an also concussed in Lonal at the Craven Week. Pierre Siebert, no one in their right mind on this planet would want to tackle them. Juan Wilson, possibly the most underrated schoolboy player over the past 3 years. Bobby Alexander, the inspirational number 9, Craven Week captain. He has represented the Craven Week side 2 years in a row. Jandre Berger, only recently become a regular starter after that fantastic performance against Paul Roos Gymnasium about a month ago. Matthew Jacobs comes in for the injured Ethan James. A lot of people can be forgiven for not knowing Matthew Jacobs, a grade 11, but if he gets space, he will score and he will certainly feature next year. Stefan de Toy is the captain today. Stevino Jacobs, arguably the best winger in the country. He plays at number 13 today in Ethan James's absence. Kerwin Gertze, Craven Week player as well. SA Sevens, watch out for him. And at the back is Tion Swanepoel. Rondebosch Boys High School have also had to manage with a lot of injuries. And their star player today, Kian Davis, who is an Academy Week player, is out with a sprained wrist. The front row is Jay Ryback, Troy Fisher, who has scored 8 tries this season. Craven Week tight head prop in Brian LaRue. He's rock solid. Matty Gray with 48 caps, 3rd season of first team rugby. William MacDonald, the Irish born. Matthew Cohen, Lucanio Vokozeda, another Craven Week player, usually plays in the front row. Perhaps today he will be tasked with defending against Pierre Siebert. Joshua King is the number 8. Halfback combination. Ismail Safwuddin, and then perhaps the player who will be under the most pressure today is Connor van Eerden. He's a jack in the box, but today he needs to be switched on and perform his best performance in a Rondebosch jersey. The back 3 is Leon Buerta, Jake Trudeau. Watch out for Talvin Blood. He has scored 19 tries for Rondebosch just in grade 11. The centres are Jordan Collier and Connor Kotze. Andries, one gets the feeling today that Rondebosch's forward pack need to stand up. They cannot get bullied, because then Paarl Gymnasium will have a lovely day on their fortress.
They definitely will, and the Paarl Gym back 3 you rightly mentioned are extremely dangerous, with Trevino Jacobs filling in a 13 jersey. They'll be extremely quick on the edges and extremely dangerous with ball in hand, and rightly so. The pack of forwards must be led by Brian LaRue, the Cranwick standout for Western Province, and surely a SA Schools hopeful, a team that will be announced during the week. But they're up against tough opposition. Yes, Paarl Gym have a couple of injuries. Lonal, one of my favourite players in the pack of forwards. He gets around the park, makes his tackles, and he's the heartbeat of that pack of forwards. Not on the field today, but they've got some very, very handy replacements on the park today, and it should be interesting to see the battle up front. Pierre Siebert, he is a human tank, tough to tackle, and he will go forward for the Paarl Gym team. And once they do get that, it will be tough to defend against.
Andries, for Rondebosch, is it more sticking to what they know, or will it be more of a matter of huddling together and saying to ourselves, let's make history in Rondebosch folklore?
Well, they're going to have to change a little bit of what they've been doing through this season to get a positive result here today. And in my mind, I'd like to see them get off the line defensively quite strong and take the space away from Paarl Gymnasium. When we saw Paarl play against Grey College earlier in the year, the Volklava week in Kimberley, one of their main focuses was to try and stop the ball from getting to the edges. As soon as the ball gets to the edges against Paarl Gymnasium, they will hurt you. They've got dangerous players out there. So in my mind, Rondebosch today, nullify Bobby Alexander. We've not mentioned him enough. He is an exciting player, one of my favourites in SA Schools Rugby this year. Nullify Bobby Alexander, the speed with which he gets the ball around the park, and you do stand a chance against the Paarl Gym side.
Well, Paarl Gymnasium, they are coached by the masterminds and tacticians in the form of Peter Rousseau and Helmut Lehmann. They took over in 2016, and every single year, Andries, they've managed to finish inside the top 10. Perhaps this season is their best season, but what they really, really want is a victory in 3 weeks' time against Boys High, which they have not done since 2014. And it starts today, the commencement of the business end of the Southern Suburb League.
Yeah, so much is said about the inter schools in Paarl. A small town, these two fantastic schools that play against each other every year. 20,000 people at the games in Forest Drive. It is an incredible spectacle of rugby and schoolboy rugby on one day in Paarl. It is a match that they've not managed to win the last couple of years, and they would dearly like to do that. But for the time being, their focus should be on this Rondebosch team. If you take your eyes off them, they could punish you.
Paarl Gym have won 12 out of 13 games. Rondebosch 9 out of 13. Rondebosch have only lost against top 20 opposition. In the front, you just saw is the Rondebosch captain and Jordan Collier. And Paarl Gym have just about been flawless. It's a good crowd here today. And Rondebosch know they're in for a massive, massive task here. Ahead of Collier there is Jay Ryback, and then Troy Fisher, Brian LaRue, Matty Gray with 48 caps, William MacDonald, the Irish-born, Matthew Cohen, Lukanya Vukozela, Joshua King, Sarfudin, Connor Van Eden, Leanne Boertse, Connor Kutsa, Trake Tadu, and Dalvin Blood. They are a very proud school. And Paarl Gym taking their time to be their second last home game. In 2 weeks' time, they have Weinberg. Next week, they have Otaniqua. And Andries, a lot of these Paarl Gym players, that will hit them in some way, knowing that it is the final few games.
Yeah, and it's something that's inevitable for all schoolboy rugby players, that you're going to play your last game for your school at some stage, your last home game, and it's something they'll have at the back of their minds. You know, they want to finish strong. This team has been exceptional throughout this year. They've played some decent rugby, great brand of rugby that they've been playing, and they want to continue on with that and end off this season with a high. It goes both ways. Rondebosch on the other end as well. They've got a couple of stalwarts in that team that played for them for a lot of matches, and their time's running up in the Rondebosch jersey as well. So emotional times for these young boys, finishing up their schools careers and then going into the exciting world of the grown-ups.
Lukanya Vukozela there, Rondebosch's Rhinoceros, had a fabulous Craven week. And Joshua King at the back there will have to work extremely hard. Rondebosch on average beat Paarl Gym every single 8 years. Since 1995 they have won 3 times, and it was 8 years since their last victory. Stefan de Toy, the captain today, almost ready to make his way out onto the young Creole field. And Rondebosch enter the young Creole fortress, led by captain Jordan Collier, and they really need to be full of energy. Lukanya Vukozela, their big name players, need to stand up. Connor Van Eden and Paarl Gym make their way out. Bobby Alexander, the little legend, following Stefan de Toy. Juan Wilson there, Gatsa Stravino Jacobs, the Rocket Man. And he is a try-scoring machine. 37 tries in 3 seasons of first-team rugby for Stravino.
Well, that's exceptional. Stats for Stravino Jacobs. Leading the team out, Stefan de Toy, known as Kudubai's mate. He is also an underrated player in South African schoolboys rugby. He has been tremendous for his team in the inside centre berth. Spreads the ball around quite nicely. Defensively, he leads them. He's a leader in the defensive structure, and he does that exceptionally well. Exciting times. What a match of rugby we can wait for you.
You just see how much it means. Kerwin Gatsa, just in grade 11, bowing down like it's his last game. And Rondebosch there, Troy Fisher, the hooker. What a player. Jean de Vet is the referee today, just 24 years of age, a candidate attorney, and studied at the University of Stellenbosch and Aberdeen. It's a Paul Roos, old boy. Connor van Heerden, so much rests on him today, but he needs his forward pack to do a tremendous job. We are almost ready to go. It's time on. Connor van Heerden. Not a bad kick, and straight away Paarl Siebert is met by a massive tackle in the form of the Rondebosch Rhinoceros in Vokozela. Gerard van Niekerk, stripper. Troy Fisher dislodges it. Yes, Vokozela, Collier, a chance immediately for Rondebosch, and it's a massive tackle by the Rocket Man. But what a start that is to the clash.
Exciting start to this match, Justin. Turnover ball from the start, and the big man Vokozela getting his hands on the ball early on in this first half. Massive tackle on Paarl Siebert. He'll just rub that off. Exciting start. Good tackle also. Stravino Jacobs getting himself into the game early.
Probably the best tackle I've seen in the past 2 years on Paarl Siebert. And Swanepoel with a scuffy looking kick, but he finds touch.
Yeah, ball coming out, and Stravino Jacobs making a great read here, coming out of his line and making a good solid tackle to turn over ball.
Kompion feeds. Good take by Johan van Rijn. And we've seen this sight a lot this year. Kompion going to ground. Alexander, Jandre Berger. De Toy trying to spot a gap. Great tackle there by Matthew Cohen and Collier, Vokozela and LaRue. Exceptional stuff. Ryback gets in there as well. And this should be a turnover. Great defense by Bosch.
Well, it's clear to see that Rondebosch have pitched up here today, and they're here and they mean business. Justin, great tackle in the midfield, holding up the ball, turning over. And a first opportunity here for them to put pressure on Paarl Gim.
Ismail Saffoud in there, the scrum off. Played in the Craven Week B side. Played some good rugby as well in that combination with Kian Meaden. And Joshua King, the number 8, really has to step up today. So first scrum. Can Bosch make it count? Struggling at scrum time. And luckily it is a reset.
Interesting times here. We've got Brian LaRue packing down for Rondebosch on the tight head prop, and opposite him, tight head side for Paarl Gim is Juvan Bakker. Both players part of the Western Province Craven Week side this year. This will be a tightly fought contest, and then stripper Van Niekerk in the loose head berth for Paarl Gymnasium up against arguably South Africa's best schoolboy tight head.
Saffoud in. Dalvin Blood. He caused havoc in the fixture last year with 2 tries against Paarl Gim. Saffoud in delivers to Maddie Gray. Players Player of the Year last year for Rondebosch. Saffoud in to Connor van Heerden. That's a good ball to Troy Fisher with the big don't argue. Saffoud in waits. It's a free play for Rondebosch. And Jay Ryback, he'll run all day, the big blonde. Connor van Heerden to Vokozela, who's been massive in this opening 4 minutes. Matthew Cohen with the carry. Rondebosch looking composed. It's van Heerden now with the dummy kick. A little bit of razzle-dazzle from the number 10. He slips it beautifully there to Matty Gray. Saffoud in, LaRue. Nice ball there to Troy Fisher. Paarl Gim's defense is tight. Connor van Heerden spots some space. And it's not a bad kick at all. Swanepoel under a little bit of pressure, but we are coming back for the penalty.
That's a great kick by Connor van Heerden. Saw the space in behind and made Tiaan Swanepoel run a bit to work to get that ball back. Good play by Rondebosch. Kept it in hand, put the defense under pressure. And I do mean business.
Please keep interacting with us across all social media platforms. This broadcast proudly brought to you by SuperSport Live. And Connor van Heerden now is going to have a shot at goal. He is a point-scoring machine. 134 points in 2019. He is third in the Western Cape. Kian Meaden of Paarl Boys High tops that list. And this is a crucial kick now, Andries, for Rondebosch to just start well.
It is. It's a tough first kick for Connor van Heerden as well. Not the easiest angle he has, and a long way out. And this will do the world of good for his confidence going forward into this game. And sometimes as a kicker, Justin, you almost want an easy kick for the first one. You can just nudge it over, take it 3 points for the 2. You're 1 from 1 for your kicking stats for the day, and you just feel good about yourself. This kick right here, crucial for his confidence.
Not a bad attempt from Connor van Heerden. So it's Paarl Gim 0, Rondebosch 0. But it's been a great start for Rondebosch despite that attempt.
That's a good strike by Connor van Heerden. Had all the legs he needed. Unfortunately, the radar slightly off.
Swanepoel. So Paarl Gim struggling to get their hands on the ball. Yes, Connor van Heerden, this time at the back. A little bit of hesitation. Troy Fisher goes for the miracle ball, and that's gone forward. So Paarl Gim have possession, and they'll look to settle down now. Massive carry there by Wilson. And Rondebosch with a great counter ruck there. That's pretty impressive, but there's no advantage.
Rondebosch standing up physically against this Paarl Gim side. Definitely looks like they're going to have a go at their breakdown, make it tough for them to play that quick, expansive game that we talked about before the start of it, and that's the right tactic. Slow down their ball, put a lot of pressure on the breakdown, make it tough for Bobby Alexander to get the ball into the hands of John Ray Burger, and by doing that, hopefully just kind of stop their momentum that they love to play with.
Bobby Alexander, South Africa's undisputed number 9 at schoolboy level. He's not only dangerous on attack, he has a beautiful service, and he can often be seen making a lot of score-saving tackles.
Yeah, Bobby Alexander wears a size 6 boot. Tough to find a size 6 boot for Bobby Alexander, but he's a small man with a big heart, makes his tackles, has an incredibly good and crisp pass, which enables his backline to play with a bit more time and a bit more freedom. And he certainly will be in contention for a SA School berth this year.
Alexander delivers. Steady scrum. De Toy at fly off this time to Burger. Great ball there to Swanepoel. And here is Kerwin Gatsa, the right winger. Tremendous carry. Paarl Gim looking threatening. Burger. Stravino Jacobs. Their first opportunity. Perek Siebert now. And he's stopped in his tracks. Jandre Burger to De Toy. Great tackle there, but well kept alive. Kompion goes to ground. Juan Wilson with the dummy. And Van Niekerk this time. Great spot tackle on him. Burger and Stravino Jacobs, out of all players, drops the bucket. So Rondebosch dodge a massive bullet here and an opportunity for them to get outside their 22.
Yeah, good offence by Rondebosch, but on the other side of the coin, Paarl Gim will take some confidence from this. They managed to keep the ball in hand for quite some time, get some momentum, and also most players got involved, so they'll feel like they're in this game. Interesting to see Paarl Gim getting tackled back once or twice in this game, and there is a definite eye being kept on him by the Rondebosch team. You see there on your screens number 23, Michiel Basson on the field in place of Matthew Jacobs, exciting young winger, having been replaced. And Michiel Basson just comes off the field having played a full 70 minutes for the second side.
Kompion. The Paarl Gim line-out in 2019 has been unstoppable, and here they go again. Here they go. Hello. Here we go. It's Kompion who gets the opening try for Paarl Gymnasium.
That has been a tremendous weapon that Paarl Gim have utilised throughout the season. They're driving more, and they're being exceptionally good with that. And they've scored so many tries with their driving maul, Justin. It's something that they've built on this whole season. The forwards coach in Helmut Lehmann has been tremendous for them this year.
Classic Paarl Gim rugby. So Jandre Burger. Paarl Gim did struggle at the beginning of the season when he wasn't in the side on the tee. He has since come in, and after that amazing performance against Paarl Gymnasium in that victory at Mokota, has cemented his position, the left-footed kicker. Well, that was a very high kick, but it was a great kick. It's Paarl Gymnasium 7, Rondebosch 0, about 12 minutes gone.
Yeah, just to look at the driving maul again, Paarl Gim in the front working hard, and so all the other forwards. One of the players in there, Jivan Bakker, doesn't get a lot of recognition, but he does do the hard graft around the park, the tight head prop for Paarl Gymnasium. Jandre Burger, good kick. First up, brother of Zach Burger, who was part of the Griquas team who beat the Sharks last night.
What a take that was by the thoroughbred Paarl Gim. And now Strupper, Gerard van Niekerk, scored a hat-trick on this field against Oakdale 2 months ago. And the kick downtown, Connor van Heerden at fullback this time. And he looks for distance. And that's a great strike by Connor van Heerden.
It's a neat kick by Connor van Heerden, and Paarl Gim won't mind that all that much. Received the kick-off, kicked it in deep, and now they've got a line out on their own 10-metre line. And so often you see teams get the ball from the kick-off and kick it straight into touch between the 10 and the halfway line, but it's opposition ball. John Berger putting a good kick into the midfield, resulting in this line-out.
Great take that time by Cross. And Matty Gray is trying to disrupt that ball, and he gives a penalty away. And Alexander, great pass there by Berger to Detoy, and Juan Wilson, he has the best offload for a forward in the country. Gives it to Swanepoel. Alexander works the short side, it's Wilson again. Alexander. What a line that was. Plays such a great brand of rugby. What a ball that was there as well from Van Rijn. But it's gone forward, and Rondebosch breathe.
Unfortunate knock on there by Paarl Gim, but good face play by Paarl Gim. And that's what they'll do to you, Justin. The pack of forwards will make it extremely tough for you. They'll ground you out physically. They'll force you to make tackles. And once you think you can start relaxing, they've got these exciting backline players who will tear you to pieces.
Matty Gray, if he doesn't get injured, he'll play his 50th game against Paul Boys High in 2 weeks' time at Rondebosch. What a player. So, Rondebosch just 7 points behind after 14 minutes. Suffered in. The show and go. Great defense by Paarl Gim. Joshua King. Matthew Gray. Slow ball for Safodin. Ryback. He's lucky that ball went to hand. It's Connor Kutzer. Manages to gain a few meters. Safodin back on the inside there to Troy Fisher. And a penalty to Paarl Gim.
That's unfortunate. Rondebosch looking like they were going to get some gain from the phase play that they did do, and they did that really well. Kept the ball in hand, managed to make a couple of yards, and as soon as it looked like they're going to get some reward off that, gives away the penalty.
Tion Swanepoel, also a very talented player, represented his province twice over the past 2 years. And there's the head boy of Rondebosch, Leon Buerta. Bokozela usually plays in the front row. Johan van Rijn, and here we go once more. Their maul is always good, but Rondebosch managed to dismantle it. Alexander, not his best pass, but it's picked up by Stravino Jacobs. And there's an overlap on the left. If they can get quick ball, Paarl Gim. Kraus throws a massive dummy. Alexander works the short side to Pirik Siebert. Paarl Gim are looking for a second try. Johan Becker. Alexander and Juan Wilson with the offload.
Yeah, unfortunate stuff. Juan Wilson, he gets those offloads away 9 out of 10 times. Unfortunately, a little knock on. Good play by Paarl Gymnasium.
Ismail Safodin. And the new man, Michiel Basson, who's missed a lot of the season due to injury, and we'll see a lot of him next year. He's a great talent. Rondebosch are coached by Peter Bernardi, who was once Peter Rousseau's teammate. They played 5 games together. So perhaps a little bit of banter after the game.
I'm sure there will be. Justin, you get the feeling of the Paarl Gim start, or they're just gradually getting themselves into this game. They've been away for a couple of months. They've been part of different setups now, together for the first time again in what is probably 6 weeks. And you just feel that they're getting themselves back into the groove. And you would want the Rondebosch team, the couple of star players that they do have in Brian Leroux, Vokozulu, you want those guys to stand up and make themselves counted for, because other boys are going to look at them for inspiration. Another try here by Paarl Gim, and this has been a weapon for their driving maul has been outstanding. They've scored so many tries from it. They've used it on defence and attack. They've gained penalties from driving the ball from in their own half. Gets the penalty, kicks into touch again, and they give themselves a chance to score tries on the opposite side of the field.
Interestingly as well, Gerard van Niekerk, he is 19 years of age, but he's kept Loki Marais, the Craven Week prop, out of the side for the most part of the season.
Hey, he's a good player, Stripper is. He's a big, strong ball carrying, tight forward, and he gets around the park, and he can scrum as well. Up against Brian Leroux today, and Brian was one of the biggest parts of the Western Province team in the Craven Week. He got them on the front foot at scrum time. He allowed Bobby Alexander to play a lot of rugby. The backs that they had and Cade Volleton, you can just keep on and on with the names that they had in their back line on the Craven Week side this year. And all starts up front. They had an exceptional front row at Western Province, and Brian Leroux being part of that. And so was Juvan Becker on the opposite side of the scrum.
Big scrum from Gim. Bosch under pressure. Connor van Heerden looks for safety. Michiel Basson misses that one, but he gathers eventually. And he finds Tion Swanepoel, who is very nifty and he's very difficult to tackle for his size. A lot of heart. Alexander Wilson, that was a great ball, and can you believe it? The captain, Toy, lets it go. It's a quick throw. Connor van Heerden, there's an opportunity here. Dummy switch. That's some razzle-dazzle stuff here out on the Jan Kriel field. Keeping the ball alive. Some great play there.
Exciting stuff by Rondebosch, and that's what they have to do. They have to keep this Paarl Gim defence on their toes. It's something they've worked on this whole season, is getting their defence right. The structures are good, and the only way you break that down is to surprise them, and that was exactly what Rondebosch needed.
Andries, 20 minutes gone. If you're Rondebosch, would you take this result so far?
Yeah, definitely. They're bowling into this game as well. Rondebosch team also having spent time away from each other over the holiday period. And certainly I would. They've been under the cosh a couple of times in this match. They're only 7 points down. They're in the opposition half. They're in it with a sniff, and they still, they can still get into this match. If they score next, pressure on Paarl Gim, and anything can happen.
One thing for Rondebosch, though, is that a lot of their players did have a holiday. Paarl Gim, on the other hand, basically most of their players are playing in the Youth Week tournaments.
Yes, so the Rondebosch team will be well rested, and the Paarl Gim team will still be gelled and ready to go. So, two sides of the spectrum there. And it does look like the Paarl Gim scrum in the form of Kompion in the hook of Perth, and then Van Niekerk on the loose set. And that man in the screen at the moment, Jivan Bakker, a small tight head by modern standards, but surely doesn't stand back in the scrum.
And a little good match up there as well between Safodin and Alexander. Great turnout today. Yeah, at Paarl Gymnasium. Known for their terrific support. So, 21 and a half minutes gone. Paarl Gim 7, Rondebosch 0. Alexander Berger finds some room. Flying after that one is Gatsa, and he gets stepped by Blood. And he lets it go. It's a knock-on. And this is where Paarl Gymnasium can hurt you. And they'll look to play advantage. They've got lots of numbers on the left here. Stravino Jacobs, Swanepoel, Basson, thirding with the touchline. And good defense by Rondebosch.
Good defense by Rondebosch, but a smart kick by John Ray Berger off that scrum, getting the ball into space. Koen Gerse with a great chase. Unfortunately missed that tackle, but Paarl Gim still managed to turn over that ball and put pressure on Rondebosch. Good defense at the end to prevent them from scoring tries. Tion Swanepoel, ball in hand, is dangerous. This boy, Michiel Basson, only in grade 11, but extremely powerful and a deceptive runner.
So Troy Fisher, South African water polo player at schoolboy level. He needs to get this line out right. Maddie Gray, the season campaigner, makes no mistake. And Rondebosch need a healthy exit here. Fokozela. He was at a standing start there, and that's a great carry. Safodin lays it back to Connor van Heerden. A lot of power in that kick. Not his best, but they get the penalty.
Yeah, easy exit for Rondebosch, and criminal by the Paarl Gim defense, just sneaking offside and allowing Connor van Heerden to release some pressure. You get the feeling, Justin, also that this game hasn't started yet. Hey, the guys just filling each other out, and slowly but surely just building themselves into it.
This is the first 25 minutes of the business end of the league in the Western Cape. Perhaps a few cobwebs. So Troy Fisher, it's a beautiful throw to William MacDonald, but unfortunately that has gone forward.
You don't want to do this. You don't want to give this Paarl Gim team ball when it's your own, because that's what they love to do, is play rugby with the ball in hand. Conversation between Paarl Siebert and Johan van Rijn. Quiet start for Paarl Siebert. We're more used to seeing him run over people, getting his hands on the ball and making an impact. He's been well looked after today by the Rondebosch side.
Steady for Jim. Berger delivers to the toy. Great play here from Jim, but Bosch's defense is really tight. Alexander, and this time it's Cross. And Bosch's defense, they're really up for it. They don't want to give an inch. Bobby Alexander goes the other way this time. Great ball there from Du Toit to Gatse. Kerwin Gatse. He has had 2 good runs now in this fixture. Johan Becker. There's it off to Van Rijn. Johan van Rijn. Alexander on the blind side. And Michiel Besson. So building some good experience. The grade 11. Van Niekerk. Once more. He just looks so composed. And Berger, Becker in the back line this time, like Vunapolo. Du Toit to Kerwin Gatse. Gatse. They have just been a sight to behold in 2019. And Rondebosch come flying through, but illegally so.
Unfortunate there by Connor Kotze. You can't play the scrum off, and Bobby Alexander being taken out. You get the feeling, well, here, Justin, this Rondebosch team, they are trying to get off the line and making tackles behind the game, and they've done that quite well in this build-up. But this Gim side, they've got so much talent and patience with the ball in hand. They just took the pressure and eventually got their opportunity. Kerwin Gatse into space, and all of a sudden, you're chasing tail. Stephen Becker tight head prop with 2 passes in that phase play, and it's good to see the forwards having the confidence to move the ball around and play some rugby, because that's what we need. We need our forwards to be as equally as confident passing and catching the ball as our backs are.
Compion. And this might be another nightmare for Rondebosch. It's this rolling maul once more. A classic sight and a classic try. It's Liam Compion who gets his 2nd try from a rolling maul. Prophet of doom stuff right there.
Liam Compion didn't look happy about something there, but a 5-pointer behind his name, the 2nd one of the game for Liam Compion. And a good build-up and another good drive by the Paarl Gim pack of forwards. They're so confident in doing that. They've done it all season. They know each other so well, know where their pressure is and where they shouldn't be, and just keep grinding forward until they get over the line. Again, see the pack of forwards, Johan Becker, Van Rijn working hard. And just managing to get that ball down to Liam Compion. Looked like he might have knocked that on. Fortunately, got it down before it went forward.
Andre Berger to make it 2 out of 2. 60 points in 2019, including 3 tries. Can he convert? Converts with certainty.
Another good kick by John Berger, and he is striking them well.
I wonder who's got a better success rate, Paarl Gim's maul or Jandre Berger's kicking for poles?
I think it could be pretty similar. If we look at this maul again, hard work again by the pack of forwards, 1 unit, and then Compion losing that ball. Fortunate that the try was given
Alexander, calm, cool and collected. And that ball's not out. Joshua King, the Rondebosch number 8, is under it. Hands it off to Connor van Heerden. And Saford in. LaRue, this time. The rock solid tight head. Saford in to William McDonald. Gets over the advantage line. And Rondebosch now, in this final 5 minutes, they can't afford to give away any more points, and they've given the ball away to Paarl Gim. Stravino Jacobs with an agile step, and Bukelzela, another bruising hit. 2 bruising hits on 2 legends at schoolboy level. Van Niekerk, he just loves to play rugby, the loose head prop. And Swanepoel, into the defense he goes. Alexander, Jovan Becker says, follow me. Paarl Gim making yards. And Seabat now, Bukelzela with a great tackle there. Bosch's standout. Alexander Wilson this time. That is a tremendous ball to the Sherman tank. Lays it off to Alexander and he lets it go. So Rondebosch doing well to disrupt this open play from Paarl Gim. LaRue once more. Suffered in to Van Heerden. A little chip over the top for Blood. And that is a great tackle. Dolvin Blood had to make that tackle on Kerwin Gatsa. And it's trench warfare at ruck time. Jandre Burger. That is a great kick. The young head boy of Rondebosch stabs it downtown, and Swanepoel lets it go. And he will not be happy about that one, Andries.
He definitely will not be, and that's the ball that he likes. Broken play, he thrives off that, unfortunately knocking that on, but a good phase of play by both sides. Perk Sibbett getting himself into the game with a line break, a little offload to Bobby Alexander that we see so often, running those lines on the inside shoulders of the guys who break the line. Unfortunately getting knocked out of his hands, and then turnover ball, good kick. Connor Evans in behind the defense of Paarl Gymnasium, putting them under a lot of pressure.
Just a few minutes away from the halftime oranges. And Andries, besides those 2 lethal Paarl Gim mauls, Rondebosch have been really up for this game.
Yeah, they have, and they've played well at times. Defensively, they've been very good. They've gotten off the line and made good tackles, and they're making it tough for Paarl Gim to play some rugby. But they've not managed to get into the Paarl Gim half all that often. They've not had opportunity to put real pressure on the Paarl Gim defensive structures. And that's something they want to do in the second half, play in the right parts of the field.
King to Saford in. He looks for territory. And Joshua King has to gather that one, but it's turnover ball. And Paarl Gim get the ball back. A freebie from Rondebosch. Jovan Becker in the back line. Bobby Alexander, Burger. Great pass from Detroit to Stravino Jacobs. What a talent. Didn't play at the Craven Week because he is 19 years of age. SA Schools last year and Craven Week last year. Shuan Wilson with the carry. Alexander Burger. Great running here from Paarl Gim. And that's a massive moment in the game, Andries. Big moment there.
Big moment for Rondebosch. A crucial part of the game, with time of the game for teams to score points. 5 minutes before the halftime break. Tremendous stuff by Rondebosch, and they want to get onto the scoreboard just before the break, get some momentum going into the second half.
Just remember to keep interacting with us across all social media platforms. There's another game on at 3:15 in the Eastern Cape. between Framesby and Grey High. The winner of that fixture will be crowned the Port Elizabeth champions. Both of those schools inside the top 15. So don't miss out on that one on School Sport Live. Great take there from King. And Saforin has a go, but Jean de Wet will bring him back.
Great opportunity here for Rondebosch to get some points on the board, and you get the feeling that all they need is just a little start, just a little bit of momentum to get themselves onto the front foot, get the confidence going again, because they are just fighting for every scrap they're getting at the moment. But this is a real opportunity for this Rondebosch pack to get a try on the scoreboard for their team.
So this is a perfect moment for the Bosch Army. The blue and gold, if they can get this one right, the halftime orange juice will taste amazing. Fisher to Joshua King, the number 8. Maddie Gray with some trickery. This is a moment for Rondebosch. It's King. Can they stick to their structures? William MacDonald trying to edge his way closer to the line. It's a free play as well. Collier, the captain, takes contact. And they really need somebody to exploit the line. The Roo feeds Fisher. Building a few phases here, but going backwards. Great ball that time from King, and it's gone forward. And here is the decision time now. Sarfoot in. Will he tap and go? Assessing his options.
Just before half-time, opting for the scrum while Rondebosch, I would have thought they'd go for the 3 points, knock it over, take the momentum into the half-time break, and then start again in the second half. A lot of confidence in these schoolboys, and we often see this. Not fond of taking the easy 3. They'd rather take a chance and get 7 on the board. And exciting stuff. This is the first time they've put the Paarl Gim defensive structures under some pressure. Held up quite nicely. And this is a must-score situation for the Rondebosch team.
Yandre Berger in picture there. Paarl Gim pivot. So, can Rondebosch do it before half-time? Bokozela at number 8. Rondebosch's rhinoceros. Great tackle on him. Paarl Gim had to make that tackle. Sarfoot in to Troy Fisher. Good heart shown by Rondebosch. But they need to mean business here. It's Maddie Gray. Sarfoot in. Bokozela. Lucanio Bokozela. Sarfoot in. Skip ball that time to Maddie Gray. Great tackle there. Connor van Heerden waves the wand. Great defense here from Gim, and they get a magical penalty, and that is great defense, Andres.
It's good work by Paarl Gim, and they've really improved their defensive system over the last year. Last year they struggled a bit with it. Got a coach in Marnus Hichu, improved their defense, and they are certainly a powerful South African Schools boys side.
So that's half-time. Paarl Gymnasium 14, Rondebosch 0. We saw 2 great Rothingmore tries by Paarl Gymnasium, scored by Liam Kompion. Perhaps the second try was a knock-on, but don't go anywhere. We're up for a fabulous second half of rugby. So back here at the second half. Paarl Gim 14, Rondebosch 0. It's Wilson this time. Such an underrated player. Alexander. And it's Swanepoel who emerges in the front once more. Becker playing it fly off. Jandre Burger, Perek Siebert. He'll get the T-Rex spin going, that's for sure. Alexander to De Toy. He runs into Vokozeda and Troy Fisher. Paarl Gim get an early score now. It'll be a long, long way back for the Bosch Army. Gerard van Niekerk. Dylan Alexander, Jandre Burger, Stravino Jacobs. Playing at outside centre today. He is so strong. But he loses that one. That was quite unlucky there, Andries.
Yeah, great work by Conor Faeden. I thought it was the fly half for Rondebosch, just getting onto the ball in the hands of Stravino Jacob and forcing that knock-on. Good start for Paarl Gim in the second half, and immediately they found themselves 5 meters away from the opposition try line, just putting so much territorial pressure on the Rondebosch team and wearing them down. Man in picture, Brian Leroux, he'll have to stand up, get his team on the front foot. One of the players they'll be looking at for inspiration. But how about Lucanio Vokozela? He's been tremendous, making tackles, carrying ball, really standing up for his team today.
Joshua King, number 8. He's been through a lot of work in 2019. Comes from a great Rondebosch family. A few of his relatives who have also played for the first side. And Rondebosch, Andries, they really need to find a way to just get themselves on the scoreboard before Paarl Gim get another score.
Yeah, they'd certainly have to, and under the cosh at the moment, they have to just get onto the scoreboard, get that momentum, and build a bit of scoreboard pressure on the Paarl Gim side. At the moment, they're playing 2 scores away, not a lot of pressure on them.
So Safud in. It's a crucial scrum here for Rondebosch. They're having a tough time. Vokozela trying to get some go forward ball. And Safud in. Waits once more. It's McDonald. The Bosch Army can't afford a turnover yet. And they get more, they get a penalty.
That's a good result for Rondebosch, and silly mistake by the Paarl Gim side. Another easy exit, and this Conor van Heerden, he kicks the ball some distance. That's the young man. Interesting to see that the Paarl Gim side and Stripper, Liam Kompion and Juan Becker that I mentioned earlier, underrated title prop in South African Schools Rugby. Not the biggest individual, certainly gets around the park. We've seen him make passes and put the backs into space, but at scrum time, that's where he's most dangerous.
So Rondebosch not out of the cosh yet. The line out on the 22. And it's been poached by Cross. Alexander, here's trouble. It's Juan Wilson now, the number 8. So much power. Still going. Alexander, Cross, and Perek Siebert. And that's an interesting tackle. This could be trouble now. Someone might go to the dog box here. And who will get called out for this one?
Yeah, another strong hit on Perek Siebert, and they're keeping an eye on him today and getting a couple of shots in. They're just unfortunately lifting the heads or the legs, getting him across the horizontal.
So, some witchcraft here. Gerard van Niekerk wants a score. Van Niekerk. He gets the score. What a legend. What a player. What a human being.
Stripper van Niekerk. Didn't need anyone else. Did it himself. Tap and go by Bobby Alexander and up against the upright. The young individual, the 19-year-old, pursuing a degree at Marty's next year.
Is that a degree in rugby, Andries?
I don't think those exists, Justin, but he will certainly be part of the rugby fraternity at Marty's. And exciting times for these youngsters leaving school, going into the different varsity setups or moving abroad or whatever they have planned, going into the big world. Just quick tap, Paarl Alexander, and here Stroper, the good leg drive. McDonald just slipping off that tackle, allowing the big Paarl Gim front row 4 to get over for the 5-pointer.
So Paarl Gim 21, Rondebosch 0. Van Heerden kicks it to the Sherman tank. Perek Sibat loves the fend. Jandre Burger with a good exit, and Connor Van Heerden at the back, assessing his options, and he decides to play safety first. Deemed to have gone back. Swanepoel beats one, and Joshua King makes a very good tackle. And Paarl Gim are trying to switch on here through Jovan Becker. And Totoy with the dummy. Paarl Gim not at their best yet, but they just looked very relaxed. And Van Heerden once more at fullback and takes his time. And Swanepoel takes it quickly. Burger to Juan Wilson. And now Totoy. Skip ball to Gatse, but he doesn't have a lot of space. He finds Rondebosch's Rhinoceros and Bokozela. Slow ball for Alexander. Juan Wilson, space on the left. A little bit of a wobble from Gerard van Niekerk and a little bit of a shimmy. Look at him go. He loves his rugby. Van Rijn, there's an overlap here. Sibat, it's just too easy for the Sherman tank. Perek Sibat gets his 9th try in 2019 for Paarl Gymnasium.
Great try by Paarl Gymnasium. Break through the middle by Stripper. Van Niekerk allowing Perek Sibat to get in over the corner. And now it just seems like this game's going to open up for Paarl Gymnasium. At one stage it looked like Rondebosch was still in it, Justin, going into half-time on the cusp of scoring a try. 10 minutes later they find themselves 26 points down with a kick to come. Look at Perek Sibat just the end of this try. One to beat, just too easy for the big open side flanker.
So Burger looking to make it 4 out of 4. And the Paarl Gim faithful will be happy to know that they have sorted out their place kicking. 3 weeks away from inter-schools where every single point counts. That is superb from Jandre Burger. It's Paarl Gim 28, Rondebosch 0. There's still 26 minutes to go here, Andries, and Rondebosch need to switch on.
They need a bit of momentum. They need something to happen for them, and they need that something to be from one of the big players on the side. Bokozela, Brian Leroux. Get them on the front foot. Do something special. Inspire your teammates.
And it's not going to start like that either. Connor Van Heerden giving Paarl Gim a scrum on centre field. And one thing about Paarl Gim, Andries, is that they really switch on in the second half. They will become relentless. And if you start going to sleep, they're going to make you pay.
Yeah, and again, they've been away on a break for a couple of weeks. They're starting to find each other again. As soon as they kick into gear and they find each other, it could be ominous signs for the Rondebosch team.
It's a good scrum. Wilson to Alexander. A terrific ball to Gatse. Kerwin Gatse He's got tons of pace. Look at him go. Kerwin Gatsa. And great defense there by Rondebosch, but great hunger shown as well from Gatsa. Perhaps a little bit too eager.
Kerwin Gatsa just taking that one roll too far, resulting in a penalty for Rondebosch. But great work nonetheless. Tremendous pass by Bob Alexander to get Gatsa into space. One of the quickest wings in South African rugby. Bob Alexander still a smile on his face. Look at the replay, and this is what you don't want to see as the defense. Kerwin Gatsa into space, tremendously paceful on the inside. Good leg drive, and you get the feeling that over here, just recycle the ball, get one of your big forwards onto it. Team to have called over the line. Penalty, Rondebosch.
Troy Fisher gets that one right. Brian LaRue with a flash of inspiration to Troy Fisher. And here we go. He's lost that one forward, and Gatsa is bundled into touch by Jay Ryback.
A bit of a spark by the big man, Brian LaRue, and that's what they need, and they have to capitalize from that, build from that, get themselves back into this game.
Jay Ryback, well, he is the grandson of Hugh Bladen, if he was reminding you of someone familiar. So, Paarl Gim in a very comforting position. And it would take a rugby miracle for Rondebosch to come away with a result here. This is tremendous play. It's the rocket man Stravino, but that has gone forward, and Rondebosch are very lucky that time.
Slight forward pass by the toy to Stravino Jacobs. He's not had that many opportunities, has a big outside centre for Paarl Gymnasium. But as it stands at the moment, Paarl Gym got the upper hand in the scrum. They're getting the front foot ball from the set phases, and that's allowing these guys to enjoy their day out there.
Rondebosch, just in terms of fixtures, do you have another 4 after this? They have Weinberg, then Boys High, then Sachs, and then the game that means the most to them is Bishops at the end of the season. This is good ball now for Rondebosch. Connor van Heerden, they in search of their first try. Trudeau lets it go to Blood. He flickers like a phantom, this fella. Sarfoot in, Fokozeda back on the inside to Ryback. And it's play on, Sarfoot in, Connor van Heerden. Back to his scrum off. Fokozeda with the clear outs. And Rondebosch desperately need a try here. They need something to shout about. It's Fisher now. Ryback, good hands, Tolvin Blood now. And King has to tidy up, and it's been poached by none other than the skipper, but it is a penalty.
Referee deeming that Van Niekerk was offside of the tour, I might say, coming from an offside position. Penalty Rondebosch, and that's exciting, keeping the ball in hand, putting this team under pressure. Crucial time of the game now for Rondebosch. They have to get on the scoreboard.
So they're going to try give Paarl Gim a taste of their own medicine here. And the Rondebosch faithful, they want something to shout about desperately. It's a long drive, 60 k's away from their school. King, inside ball to Matthew Cohen. Great play by Bosch. LaRue, the tight end prop, really close. Really, really close. Saarfoot in. Connor van Heerden. Collier, the skipper. A powerful run there. LaRue. And that is just tremendous defense from Paarl Gim. They don't want to concede. Saarfoot in to Kotze. Joshua King, slip ball there to Troy Fisher. Skip ball to Gray, and they're running out of ideas here. But luckily, they've got a penalty, and will they take it quick? Saarfoot in. Yes, he does. Josh King now. Another big hit by Jovan Becker, and another massive hit on Vokozela. Just struggling to exploit Paarl Gim's defense, and it's been a sight to behold. Fisher to Matty Gray to LaRue, gets the offload that time to McDonald, and they need a flash of brilliance here, and LaRue is down, and this will be concerning for Rondebosch.
Certainly will be concerning for Rondebosch. The injury of Brian LaRue, as well as the defensive line of Paarl Gymnasium, giving them absolutely nothing, leading 20.8-0. Paarl Gim still giving Rondebosch nothing. Defensively, very strong, making good tackles. Jovan back on the tight head side. He was instrumental in that defensive set pieces there, making a lot of tackles, working off the floor, getting back onto his feet, and putting his team on the front foot defensively.
But it's just a great attitude shown by Paarl Gim. They're so far ahead, but it's almost as if they are defending for their lives. And Peter Rousseau and Holmet Lehmann are doing something right there.
Surely, and they pride themselves on their defense. It's one of the aspects of their game that they wanted to improve this year. They got in, like I mentioned earlier, Manes Hugo formerly played scrum half for the Greek Quads, a couple of Super Rugby games for the Cheetahs as well. And Manes is a passionate individual, loves rugby, loves the boys, really wants to get the best out of them, and he certainly is doing that on the defense.
Paarl Gymnasium faithful there, co-educational school. Just 500 or so boys, but every single year they somehow manage to finish inside the top 5, and the LaRue is off, and that is very, very concerning. They already had an injury to Kean Davis, a critical 5 for Rondebosch, not playing today. And it's that time of the season, Andries.
Strength and depth, and you need to have players that can replace your big stars, and unfortunately for Rondebosch, they've struggled at scrum time. Vokozulu now going into the front row, standing for his big mate Brian LaRue.
So Sebastian Barriedel is on at flank, and Saarfoot in. Rondebosch are looking for some magic. Connor van Heerden, switchboard to Collier. That was nicely done. Testing Paarl Gim's defense. King, slip ball to Troy Fisher. Gets the offload away. That time to Matthew Gray. Matthew Cohen. But it is really a brick wall, this Paarl Gim defense. Vokozela lays it away to Matty Gray. Bosch are 5 meters out. The pick and go from McDonald. And Vokozela has to do some dog work there. Joshua King at scrum off to Matty Gray. And they are agonizingly close here. It is really so tight. Josh King once more to Troy Fisher. Looking for try number 9 in 2019. Connor van Heerden. A little bit of a step. Really close again. And this is crazy from Paarl Gim. Phase after phase. They are relentless. Somehow they managed to hold out. And it's a penalty. But Andries, this defense of Paarl Gymnasium, Rondebosch just struggling to gain meters.
Penalty or try, Justin? I'm pretty sure try's been awarded. Rondebosch getting over for the first 5 points of the game. And again, tremendous defense by the Paarl Gym side. And somehow Rondebosch managed to sneak over for a 5-pointer.
So Rondebosch eventually managed to get a score, and that was much needed.
Much needed and well deserved. Justin, they've worked hard. They've played in this part of the field for a couple of minutes now, and they needed some reward of that. They worked hard for it, and 7 points on the scoreboard for Rondebosch.
Connor van Heerden slots it. So let's see who scored this one. This is proper Koppelstam. You need an Einstein microscope to work that one out. And Trudeau taken in the air. So Connor van Heerden with a chance to relieve some pressure. And it's a good kick on halfway.
So we look at this again, tough to see who scored that try. It does look like the big man, Matt Gray, getting over. Pavon Isaacs on for Paarl Gim in the number 22 shirt with his hands on the ball now is the young individual.
Isaacs, well, he is lethal. He's like a python, this player. Very dangerous. And Paarl Gim, after conceding that try, will be in a mean and hungry mood. But they let it go. So Rondebosch, if they get another score, they're not out of this. Bokozela with some thuggery there. Put in. Blood, an exceptional ball. And great hands there from Collier. Here's Paul Riedel and the head boy, Leon Buerta. And he's into touch. But they're not giving up, Andries.
They're not giving up, but they've got the work cut out for them. This Paarl Gymnasium defense is rock solid. Turnover ball. You look at Dalvin Blood, not happy with the call made by the touch judge.
Dalvin Blood will play the third season of schoolboy first team rugby next year, just in grade 11. Kompion to Johan van Rijn. And yes, Kraus now. The tall timber. Alexander, great service to Berger. Juan Wilson. And Paarl Gim want to get a 5-star finish here in these final 10 minutes. Good hands there from Gerard van Niekerk. Alexander. Good line there. Wilson trying to solve the dummy. Berger and Kudu de Toy. Looks like a kudu and runs like a kudu. Alexander, cross, Berger to Swanepoel now. What a ball that is to Jandre Berger. Bobby Alexander, the little legend, a Paarl Gim legend already. What a try, that was sensational.
It's a great drive by Paarl Gymnasium. Just broke down the defence of Rondebosch, got some space on the end, and this young man, Bobby Alexander, he knows where to run a line to score a try. We've seen it many a times this season, and not surprised to see him over the whitewash again.
What a legend, Bobby Alexander. So Berger.
Again, the ball up the back by one of the forwards, creating the space from the outside, and Tian Swanepoel with a tremendous offload to his standoff back to his partner, Bobby Alexander, over for a 5-pointer.
So Paarl Gim are really getting their second half of the season going here. And they really look like a first-class engine. And that is great play by Kerwin Gatsa, Juan Wilson. And here is Trevino. Wowee, look at him go. He is ruthless. And Bradley Davids is on now. Great ball there from Cross. Paarl Gim looking to play an entertaining final 9 minutes. And Connor van Heerden. Great ball there to Dalvin Blood. He's still going. Oh, this is razzle-dazzle stuff here. Dalvin Blood. That is absolutely astonishing from the fullback. It's his third try against Paarl Gim in 2 years.
Sensational stuff, Dalvin Blood. How much will does this guy have? Got through the space, and all they could do was chase tail. Dalvin Blood, tremendous try. A good hold up, the ball up to that. A good hold up of the ball by the fly half. Connor van Heerden putting this man into space. Tremendous space, a good step. Jean Berger incapable of catching him.
So Connor van Heerden now. And one must really give Rondebosch praise. They've really given it their all, and they've been rewarded with 2 tries so far. Van Heerden to add the extras. Sublime from Connor van Heerden. And the try scorer, who was Dalvin Blood, also played SA7s with Kerwin Gatsa and Andries. That must have been a nightmare to defend against.
A lot of pace in the field out here today. Dalvin Blood, we just saw that. And Kerwin Gatsa, definitely one of the quickest out there in schoolboy rugby. A lot of changes for the Paarl Gim side. Bob Alexander off the field, Perich Sibbert off the field. We're now looking at Jovan back on the tight head, walking off the field. He's had a good shift. Scrummed well, was really dominant at scrum time and made a lot of tackles. To Jovan back off the field as well. Stefan de Toy, and it looks like 8th man, John Wilson. I am mistaken, John Wilson's still on the field of play. A lot of changes for Paarl Gymnasium. 7 minutes to go. 21 points up.
And Andries, we've seen 35 points in the second half. And a flawless kicking display as well. Van Heerden. A little chip over the top. Work for Swanepoel. And he does really well, Tian Swanepoel. The game is really opening up. It's Davids. Berger waves the wand. And Kompion now to Prevan Isaacs. And Rondebosch with solid defense.
Sputtled into touch was Prevan Isaacs, but referee deeming the offside, or deeming Rondebosch to be offside, and a penalty goes away of Paarl Gymnasium. Look at Bradley Davids, exciting scrum off. Unfortunate to be playing behind one of South Africa's best schoolboy scrummers, Bobby Alexander, but at the same time can learn from that young man.
Van Niekerk wants a price. Gerard Van Niekerk. Bradley Davids. Wilson. Great ball. Here we go. Prevan Isaacs gets a try.
Just too easy, Justin. Just too easy. Get the ball into the hands of Strip and Van Niekerk. Got over the gain line. And then another great pass by Johan Wilson. So much skill in the 8th man's hands. Also a cricketer. There's John Wilson again after the strong carry from Strip and Van Niekerk. Get the ball into the hands of Johan Wilson and he'll make the right decision. Certainly did in this instance. Prevan Isaac's been on the field only a couple of minutes. Rewarded with a 5-pointer.
Berger, 100% record. Connor van Heerden. So still 4 minutes left. Janse van Rensburg with a great gather and carry. Gerard van Niekerk, Jandre Berger, Shavino Jacobs. It's been amazing that he hasn't been on the score sheet today. Paarl Gim really taking it to the Bosch Army today. It's Van Niekerk once more. He just does not stop. Davids, that is crisp service. Just in grade 11. What another talent. Shavino Jacobs, the Rocket Man. And the Rocket Man lets it go. Side foot in. This is great play now from Rondebosch. Back on the inside. Connor van Heerden. A great ball inside. Here comes a try. What a try that is. It's Cameron van Rensburg. Some champagne rugby from Rondebosch.
End-to-end stuff. At one stage it looked like Shavino Jacob was in for all money. Left the ball behind and then a fantastic counter-attack by the Rondebosch side. Great play by Connor van Heerden, the fly half for Rondebosch. Canter down the far side of the field. And this here's a magic ball on the inside. Kotze it is, gets the ball into Van Heerden's hands. Great chase by his opposite number. Jean-Ray Berger gets the ball on the inside. And here, Cameron van Rensburg with a simple step off the left foot gets him over for 5 points. Tremendous stuff by Rondebosch.
So although Rondebosch are losing by 23 points, they have scored 2 wonderful tries. Van Heerden, over it goes. And the second half has been an absolute spectacle.
It has been, Justin. It was a slow start to this game. You can just know that after the holiday they haven't spent time together as a side. The second half has been a completely different affair. We've seen some exceptional rugby.
And amazingly, that would have been a try for Shavino Jacobs. That would have been try number 38. Maybe he'll still get it. Who knows? Davids. Good hands from Wilson to Gerard van Niekerk, and that is quite ridiculous. Again, Davids. And Boyens this time. Davids works the short side to Gerard van Niekerk, who's looking for a double. Davids, Kompion. Is that a hat trick? Yes, it is. Liam Kompion gets a hat trick for Paarl Gim. A memorable day for the hooker.
It's a good try from Paarl Gymnasium. Another criminal mistake by the Rondebosch side. They've just put 7 points on the board. Failed to field the kickoff. Got the ball into the hands of this Paarl Gim side, and they will punish you from turnover. And how good has Gerard van Niekerk been? The man they call Stripper. Getting his team on the front foot, and then Liam Kompion flying over for a 5-pointer.
I wonder where Gerard van Niekerk has been for the last 3 years. He's had a sensational season.
Eating steak on the farm, getting himself strong, getting himself ready for this year's rugby.
What a kick that was from Connor van Heerden. Back on the inside to Jake Churu. You got to be kidding me. Absolutely kidding me. Rugby played in heaven that time. Connor van Heerden, take a bow, sir.
Jake Tradu just finishing that off, but special pass. It was from his head boy, I'd say. Liam Buerta, a little flick on the inside to Jake Tradu over for 5 points, and now we're seeing it all, Justin.
Rugby played in heaven, that's for sure.
Liam Buerta on the wrong side of the field, fielded that little flick on the inside, and then Jake Tradu over for a 5-pointer.
We have been treated, absolutely treated, in the second half. And the Bosch Army are not done yet. Some razzle-dazzle flicks. Connor van Heerden lets that one go. And will there be time for a scrum? That's the game. Paarl Gim 47, Rondebosch 26. What rugby that was, Andries, particularly in the second half. Rugby played in a great spirit. We saw how Rondebosch really dug deep in that first half. They really struggled, didn't put any points on the board. Paarl Gim came out a different side in the second half, scored wonderful tries, and then equally so, Rondebosch got great tries of their own as well.
50 points scored in the second half, and we've seen tremendous rugby. And it's only the start of the first half in which Rondebosch struggled to get up to speed with what this Paarl Gim side threw it. Then the pack of fours for Paarl Gymnasium, exceptionally dominant today. Unfortunate for Rondebosch, lost Brian Leroux early on in the second half, taking nothing away from the players on the side. We've seen some great rugby, schoolboy rugby at its best. Schoolboy rugby in South Africa gets me excited.
So 12 incredible tries we saw. Rugby at its finest. Paarl Gim scored 7 tries. Rondebosch 5 tries. The hooker for Paarl Gim, Liam Kompion, got a hat-trick. Dalvin Blood scored his 20th try for Rondebosch. And at one stage it was looking like Paarl Gymnasium were absolutely going to hammer Rondebosch, but Rondebosch fought to the depth, and they really scored some fantastic tries. Clinton van Rensburg in picture, shaking Peter Rousseau's hand. Clinton van Rensburg was in charge of that Rondebosch victory 8 years ago on this very field, but very good to see that all the players looking in good spirits after losing by 21 points. They know that they really had a field day. You can see Tradu is laughing with Liam Buerta there after that razzle-dazzle inside pass. And then also so much action still. It's a Port Elizabeth clash at 3:15 on SuperSport Live between Framesby and Grey High School. Both those sides in the top 15. And Framesby, they'll be looking to beat Grey High so that they can remain in the top 10 and be crowned the Port Elizabeth champions. Definition of a glorious winter's day here. And it was matched by some glorious rugby. Paarl Gymnasium, of course, next week they play Outeniqua away, and then Wynberg at home, and then the big one at Forest Street against Paarl Boys High. Rondebosch go on to play Wynberg, Paarl Boys, Sachs, and then Bishops. And Rondebosch will be singing their school song, Altius et Laudius, a very proud school.
3, 2, 1.
We're with Bobby Alexander, the Bulger, number 9, and Craven Week captain. He's with Andre Strauss.
With me is Bobby Alexander, the inspirational leader for Western Province at this year's Craven Week. Today played with an announced shirt for Paarl Gymnasium. Bobby, slow start for you in that first half, but it seemed to pick up in the second.
Ja, ek dink ons het 'n bietjie swak begin. die mannen beginnen aan die gang komen. Het is niet baie. We kon niet aan de kop, het is niet baie. De spel is best, de voetbal is wel.
Important part of the season for the Paarl Gim side and this whole school, a build up to the big inter-schools coming in the next couple of weeks. What's your feeling going into that and what's the strategy building up towards that?
Ja, we zien baie uit vir interschoolen. Dus die grootste game van het jaar en ons gaan net doen wat ons nog steeds het hele jaar gedaan het. Wat voor ons gewerkt het, gaan we nog steeds bijhouden en net doen wat gewerkt heeft voor ons.
Probably a lot of the team players in your side today, fighting for spots in the SO Schools side. You're one of them. Do you think that distracted you in the start of this game, or was it something that you just put in the back of your heads and focused on the game only?
Ja, ik denk niet nog aan eerste scholen nie. Ik speel voor die school. De school is voor mij nou belangrijker als enig iets anders. En het is mijn laatste jaar en ik wil goed eindigen voor de school.
Bobby, you've been an inspiration personally to a lot of schoolboys out there, and your team has been very good this season. You can be proud of them all, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Dank je.